Let me see that list.
This is my list, Jeff. If you want a list like that, make one of your own. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by EMLR Graphics in Breckenridge, Texas. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Brand new year.
Yes, it is. Get back on track of doing all our podcasts. Got 2 more weeks of really busy, and then we're back to almost normal the last 2 weeks in January.
What do you mean almost normal?
Well, we're still going to be busy, but we're not near as busy as we have. Okay, it won't be normal. It will be a little slower than normal for hunting season. But we'll be back to doing regular podcasts within the next 10 to 12 days.
There you go.
Get back on our 3 per week. Been a busy hunting season for us so far.
It has.
Great. I got to give my thoughts, my condolences to the University of Texas football fans like me.
Oh, man.
Got our ass beat last night. The score was a lot closer than the game, and we had a chance to win the game at the end. All I've heard today is bitching from the Texas people. I was pass interference on the last play. It probably was. But we wouldn't have been there. We should have never been in that situation.
Got to let him play.
That Penix kid.
I said all along he should have been the Heisman. I said all along.
If I had now, I've only watched him play about 3 times this year, and he's been good the other 2 times. I thought, Pac-12 don't play very good defense, so he's probably not that good. Texas either played really like shit last night, like they did, or he's that good. But I'm telling you, if I've got the first pick in the draft, he might be who I take. He's the real deal, he looks like. I'd take him over the LSU kid.
And everybody, I'll have to go back and look at the tape, but I think everybody scoffed at me whenever I said Washington would win it all.
Oh, you're looking like you're going to win $300.
In Jimbo and Blake's podcast.
Yes.
I believe everybody kind of was a gaff. Taken back.
We thought you were smarter than that.
Put you on your heels. Now it's looking like a good bet. It's at least 50-50.
You know, I like that kid. He throws a good deep ball. Throws a great deep ball. 52% of anything over 30 yards. I've watched him play 3 times. I've watched him play Oregon twice, and I watched him play that game, and I think they beat Michigan.
I didn't watch either game.
Alabama should have beat Michigan.
I watched a little bit of the Bama game, and then I rented Oppenheimer, which has way more sex in it than I thought it would. Good thing I didn't watch that with kids around. I figured the number would come in right around 0 titties shown.
Yeah, I would figure that too.
I was mistaken.
Well, I've heard there's 3 movies I want to see. I want to see Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's good.
I want to see the Iron Claw because I grew up in wrestling in the
Iron
the
Claw
Von
looks
Erichs.
good.
And I want to see Napoleon, but everybody says Napoleon's trash.
Well,
everybody has told me that.
I'll still sit through it.
Well, I may let you watch it, and if it's that bad, then I won't. But I've heard it's not very good.
It's coming to Apple TV soon.
Okay, well,
which I do not have Apple TV, but I might get it for a month to watch that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oppenheimer was good though. Guy got fucked over in the end. Tried to be.
Don't tell me because I want to watch it.
Well, I just
don't mention it.
I didn't know any of that.
Okay, well, don't say nothing.
Did you know any of
Don't talk about the movie till I get a chance to watch it, okay? Nothing worse than that. And I hate watching a movie with somebody that's watching it. Oh my God, just wait till he gets killed. Okay, well, fuck that, ruined that for me.
Yeah. Brilliant performance by Cillian Murphy. Brilliant performance. Really tapped into the guy.
Next week we're supposed to have a major cold front.
Still not seeing it on Apple.
No, but 2 weeks from now, it's supposed to get really bad, they say. And everybody keeps doubling down on this, and it keeps going and going and going and going. So I'm assuming it's going to be about like the vortex of 2020.
Only 6 weeks too late.
Yes, for us. But
yeah, I don't see what front you're talking about. 58 on Monday, 44, 54, 46, 56.
That phone updates every 3 days. That same forecast yesterday had us at 58 degrees, and yesterday it didn't even see 42 degrees.
Well, NOAA is not any different.
It's 3 days out is usually what you can really tell pretty good forecast.
Well, I don't know where you're seeing it is what I'm saying.
I'm telling you because I look at the models and stuff that 2 weeks from now, first of all, 2 weeks won't be on there.
You said next week.
Oh, next week we're going to have a pretty good front on Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday is supposed to, highs are supposed to be like 37 degrees here, which for us, that's cold. It's colder than normal. Right now we're at normal. We're going to be 48 degrees today or 50. That's pretty much the normal high this time of year.
Yeah, I see 60 coming up.
Yeah, well, I hope we don't see any 60s, but it's definitely going to be cold.
It's been a bad year for everybody. Anybody that relies on cold weather, it's been a bad year.
Yes. Hold on. I'm having some guys drop something off at the house and they the door code.
It's just frustrating. Really, you wait all year. You wait all year for this time of year to come around.
So you mean like in March when I'm selling hunts, I'm going to be all excited and looking for next year to have a normal winter?
Yeah, and I don't think we're ever going to. Not in our lifetime, probably.
Oh, we will one day. You just never know when.
Yeah, but probably not in our lifetime. Trends keep going the way that they are.
It'll reverse and go back the other way. The pendulum always swings back.
No, I don't disagree with that at all. But I just think that in our lifetime, we're going to be on the warming cycle of everything.
Well, we've been on it for most of my life.
70s were cold, they say.
I don't remember them. I don't remember that.
Well,
but I'm sure it was. I remember really cold weather in the 80s because we had it in the polar vortex hit around Thanksgiving.
yeah.
So I remember that. And I remember some cold weather, but we have not had much of it in a long time. I can't remember. I've been doing this a long time. I can't remember many years that we don't have some snow.
Right.
I mean, even on bad years, we've had snowstorms. Yep. We've had zero snow this year, and we've had moisture.
First week of February, every year.
Oh, it'll get bad in February. We're going to Mexico in March.
Yeah.
So it'll be bad then too.
Yeah, I don't know. And winter just technically started a week ago. So I guess when you're looking at the Farmer's Almanac, you got to see what it says for late fall. Because that's November and December is late fall.
Well, nothing's normal. I talked to a gentleman today in northern Illinois, and we were talking about sandhill cranes. And I said,
yeah,
the cranes have been just a complete mystery this year. They've never showed up like they normally do. It's been a horrible crane season for us. We've had a great goose season. We've had a good duck season, and the crane season has been absolutely abysmal. And he goes, I'm in northern Illinois, and we've got cranes everywhere up here right now. He said, there's never cranes here this time of year. And it's because there's been no weather.
In the podcast group, somebody posted about the polar vortex that's going to come at the end of the month, 24th-ish. And anyway, a lot of people were commenting on there, and some people were even saying, there's geese and ducks north of the border.
A kid sent me a video 2 days ago from Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And a farmer was looking at a field full of geese, and he goes, I don't know what's going on. He goes, we have 1,000 geese here right now. He said, normally we have 2 foot of snow, and it's 0 degrees for a high. And it stays that way.
Are people really that dumb, though? Like, people in America, which I guess they are. Look what they did. But they're going to ask, well, why is hunting so bad this year? Are you fucking retarded?
We haven't had many. You can't use that word.
Are you fucking slow?
There you go. You can use that word.
Like, there's birds in Canada still. What do you mean, where are the fucking ducks? It's a mystery to you? It's 60 degrees all the way up into the Dakotas. Yeah, you're fucking confused as to where your birds are?
You know how many of our clients though?
No, I'm talking about like just your average hunter.
Your average hunter should know.
We'll get on there and be like, well, fucking no ducks in South Texas. Well, no fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's 80 degrees. It's 55 degrees in Minot, North Dakota. You're special, I guess. That's the only thing I can figure out. Or you're going on these forums looking to start something. That's the only thing I can figure. You're either slow or you're attention grabbing.
I had a gentleman the other day that called.
That's the infuriating part.
I talk to a lot of people every day, and a lot of people that we have here are not waterfowl hunters. They come once a year.
Yep.
They come on a corporate group. They love it. They don't spend any other time waterfowl hunting. This is it. Mm-hmm. And I had a guy just the other day. I told him, he goes, is there anything we need to bring with us? I said, yeah, bring cold weather. What do you need cold weather for? That's what drives the birds coming down. Oh, I never thought about that before. Oh, man. That guy, that was one of them guys, but he's not a waterfowl hunter.
Light bulb went on.
He's not a waterfowl hunter.
Right.
You know?
He gets passed.
He thinks he's deer hunting, that they're just there all the time. He doesn't realize they migrate back and forth.
Yeah.
I saw an interesting...
Which is an indoctrination of the school system, I would say.
I had a guy... there's a guy that we both know that's a big name in the waterfowl. He's an outfitter in Kansas. A really nice guy.
Love him. Great guy. Don't know who you're talking about. You have to tell me off air, but I love him.
But anyways, he made a comment on... He had a picture on his page the other day, and it showed a bunch of geese in the air.
Yeah.
And they have a bunch of mallards where he's at. And he said, you need to be where the ducks want to be, not where they used to go all the time, because 150 years ago, we didn't plant grain. So the birds had to migrate down as the food died because it was all natural food. And as the freeze hit, the ducks would migrate south. Now there's food everywhere because we farm everywhere and we got food and we flood crops and whatever it is. And he's got a good point. There's no reason to push the ducks out until you get some winter.
Well, yeah.
Because there's food everywhere.
Yeah, they're not going to go anywhere until there's snow on the ground.
Right. But
I've said this and said this and said this. Cold weather's not enough. Cold weather's not enough. When you freeze, when you cover their food, that's when you're going to see the big migration. And nobody has seen a lot of snow this year.
But 100 years ago, we'll go back 70 years. There wasn't grain everywhere like there is now.
Right.
There was even a time, and I don't know when it happened, but there was a time you could only plant like 40 acres of wheat. You can go back so much longer.
I bet when Monsanto started poisoning the grain population, when they were able to ratchet up the wheat supply.
Could have been. But whatever happened back in the day, there was a day, though, where not everybody was planting 1,000 and 5,000 acres of wheat.
Right. Well, they couldn't.
Right. Well, and so the birds would have to go with the food. There's food everywhere now. I'll bet you in Perkins County, Nebraska, where Blake's at, that there's more corn grown there than the entire state of Nebraska had in 1850.
That's going to be a hell of a Wikipedia search for me.
I doubt that there'll even be something like that. But I would bet you, and I'm going to bet probably in 1900. Because I don't know what the yields of corn were back then compared to I know it was nowhere close to what it is now.
Let's see. We'll try. It's worth a Google.
I just see what the average bushel acre of corn was in 1900 compared to now, just to start.
Okay, I might have an answer for that.
Okay.
26 bushel acre produced in Nebraska in the 1900s to 178 bushels today.
So 7 times the bushels per acre.
That was in 2009, so that's an older article.
Because it's probably more than that now then.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we're basically 7 times more bushel per acre on corn today than it was 100 years ago.
That is according to cropwatch.unl. I'm assuming University of Nebraska, Lincoln.edu. So it's got an edu. It's not a .com. So nobody's trying to push anything.
No, I'm sure that's
from the Nebraska Corn Board.
Okay.
In the last decade, corn yields in Nebraska increased 41%.
Okay.
So that was from 2000 to 2010. We're another decade and a half, basically, into new modern era.
So probably 10 times.
Possibly, maybe.
Yeah, so we're producing 10 times the amount of corn that we did then so we can feed the world. But then we wonder why our ducks get hung up or our geese. Well, there's 10 times more food.
It's more compact into a smaller area.
And there's no snowfall.
That's the big one.
It's a huge one.
Well, they all work together. That's what I'll say.
I went to Minneapolis to a sports show in 1996. We got to Kansas City, right north of Kansas City, probably around Logan Pike's neighborhood. And the snow line was there. And it was solid white all the way to Minneapolis. That was the normal thing back then.
Yep.
I'll bet you if you drove to Minneapolis today, you don't even see snow.
Probably not.
Seriously.
No, you're probably right. I could probably.
Dan Reese said there's no ice in Wisconsin.
That's too bad. At least we got birds to look at here. Imagine being a snowmobileman or a ice fisherman. You can't even get out on the water.
No.
At least we can make an attempt.
Well, last year it was that way, too, because I remember when Logan goes home, he always goes home and ice fishes. Yeah. And last year he was going to have to get his boat out to go fishing. I just do not see the fascination of fishing on a boat when it's 35 degrees outside. Whew.
Some people love it.
The ice fishing I understood because it's kind of a social party type deal. But I don't understand
I don't know where Minneapolis is.
Minneapolis is, see where that one is?
Yeah.
See that little round? Okay, that's the Iron Range. Go down, where you're out on that map. That's the Iron Range right there. So Minneapolis is that brown spot in the middle where there's nothing at.
Oh, okay.
That's about where it almost comes up. It looks like it comes up to about Albert Lee maybe on that map, which would be south of Minneapolis.
And that's in inches, it looks like. So 1 inch, 3 inch, 1 inch somewhere in Maine.
What are the ski places like, though? They've had good snow at the ski
yeah.
places because you're going skiing in a couple of weeks.
Look at that. Look at that. Well, a month,
But they've got good snowpack right now.
that's where Angel Fire is. I don't fucking know. I'm assuming so. It's that time of year.
I haven't heard nobody complaining about skiing.
I've not
having
heard
snow.
anybody.
So I'm assuming they got good snow this year.
Nothing else. I'll just go up there where it's 24 to 36 inches.
That's right there in the Cascades outside of Seattle.
I'd be cascading. That's what they'd call me.
Oh, Ski King.
They'd never catch me.
What do you think about the Epstein list coming out today in an hour? Comes out 1 hour.
Does it really?
Bill Clinton 50 times on the airplane. Can you tell me how they're going to mix 50 times into just a social event?
Yeah.
Like good old boy Bill just likes to fly an airplane.
Yeah.
All I see on the left, though, was Donald Trump was on that plane. Donald Trump said he was. He flew back to New York on it one time.
Robert F. Kennedy was.
That's right. And Rob, that's one talking point on the Democrats said, well, there's only one person running for president that wasn't on there. It was Joe Biden is the only one because Robert Kennedy and Donald Trump. If you had to pick a child molester out of the three, who's going to win that race? Joe Biden.
The guy that doesn't care about sniffing girls in front of the press. I did not know it was coming out. I'd seen it was coming out, but I thought it was... I'm sure it'll be heavily redacted.
1 hour. They said that the only way you got your name redacted is if you could call that judge and you show them why you had a reasonable reason that your name shouldn't be released.
Really?
Yep. I guess those Slick Willie, they can't find 50 reasons why he wasn't on there 50 times.
Yeah, that's tough to find 50 reasons why.
Isn't it sad and sick that in our world that you have a party or a group of people, because there's a lot of Republicans on that list too that are trying to keep this shit covered up also.
Fuck them.
Let's not
burn
that's
it all down.
But that we've got live in a society where people are covering that shit up.
Yeah.
I don't care if you sleep with someone that's 18 years and 1 day, that's an adult. Don't care. You're 18 years old and you want to have sex with a 90-year-old man, or a 90-year-old woman wants to have sex with an 18-year-old guy. 18 years old is legal.
Texas at 17.
Well, but I'm saying 18. But under 18 years of age, they need to do something.
Has it always been 18? Was there ever a national time where it was 17 like Texas?
I'm sure that there was a time in the early 1800s or the 1800s, 1900s. You could
No. I'm saying like in the 80s.
Oh, I don't remember them ever
17?
changing. I don't remember them ever changing a law on that. It was different
And what a weird thing to be.
We had an age limit on that.
Yeah, to be like, nah, you can fuck her at 17, and then some states are like, no, you better wait till 18. It's just a weird thing to even.
And
I mean, obviously it was a problem, or they wouldn't have made a law about it.
Some places have an age like if you're 18 and she's 16, that it's not illegal if you're within so many months or some stuff.
Right.
But and that stinks. Or don't stink. I guess I shouldn't be the word for it. For kids in high school, there's been a lot of times that there's 18-year-old boys dating a girl that's 16 years old. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty common. You can go to any high school in America right now and find a senior that's 18 years old that's dating an underclassman that's not 18.
Me.
Yeah,
married
that's right.
her.
That's right. But I mean, that's a very common deal.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be, they need to change the sexual predator or a registered sex offender. They need to change some of that, because there's cases where there's a kid that's 18 years old that sleeps with a 16-year-old girl that he's dating, and they make him a registered sex offender the rest of his fucking life.
Mom and dad found out and got pissed.
Yeah, and I don't think that's right. I think there should be some, or there's a guy that's 35 years old and he's banging a 12-year-old. Well, yeah, that's by God.
Pretty clear cut.
Yes, but they're registered as the same thing.
Yeah.
So, because I've had people in town that was on our board in court or whatever. They have a board in the police office of all the registered sex offenders, and I'd be like, "What's that guy up there for?" And I'd look them up to see.
Yeah.
And we had cases like that in Knox City that they were somewhere else, but they come here.
Yeah.
So I think there should be some degrees of what we consider a child sex predator.
I would agree with that.
A 14-year-old boy gets a girl of a picture of a 12-year-old girl, a naked picture she sends, and he sends it to someone else, then he can get in trouble for that. Eesh. Well, she shouldn't have sent the picture out, and he shouldn't be sending it either, but it happens.
Can you be a sex offender at 14?
Oh, I'm sure you can. What if you rape a 12-year-old girl?
No, I understand that, but I just didn't know about the digital side of things.
I don't know. That changes all the time.
Right.
But that's a whole different thing, the aspect they're dealing with. What about the poor guy? We'll say, I'm going to use this guy as the guy's example, because I know this guy. I know a guy that got in the porn business.
Yeah.
And he had servers, and he was making a lot of money. But there was a video of an underage girl having sex. Mm-hmm. Her name was Tracy Lord. She was a porn star.
Yep.
And she was having sex at 16 years old. And he was sharing them videos. He got in trouble for that. I think he went to prison even. Because
if he knew, then
they knew she was after. Yeah, that was after the fact that when it come out she was 16, they pulled it off. Well, he was still selling some of them.
He should have.
He went to prison for a long time over that.
I wouldn't say a long time, but he should have gone. He
went for 5 years or so.
Yeah.
But the people that were filming her and doing all that stuff, they didn't get in trouble.
Well, they should have.
Well, she lied about her age.
Boy.
What about if you own
I'm glad I'm not a judge.
What if you had a strip club and you've got a girl that has a fake ID,
presents all the proper documents, and she's 18,
and she's 15?
Yeah,
because it's happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you want to say throw the book at them all, but if let's just call it a business, take away from what they do. As long as it didn't look fraudulent. I don't know. I mean, it's tough. You want to throw the book at all these people, but sometimes people are duped.
If you're on a liquor store,
listen, it's hard to find employees, Jeff.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, so come in with a good birth certificate and a driver's license, and it looked real to me.
If you're in Lubbock and you go to Texas Tech and it ain't working at Tech, by God, Lubbock Monterey High School, come on down. So what do you do about if you own a liquor store and a kid 17 years old comes in with a fake ID? Should you be liable if he has an accident or something with that because you sold an underage kid liquor, but he had a fake ID?
Yeah, checked out.
I mean, so I don't
know. Surely a liquor store's not liable.
I'm asking you though. They are probably.
Really?
For selling underage kid liquor. Even though they did what the law told them.
That's probably just a slap on the wrist.
Shit.
You're probably going to get an inspection by TASB.
TASB.
Texas Alcohol something. No, I think that TABC. TASB's school.
Okay, I was like,
I got too many.
TABC.
Yeah, we got school board meeting coming up, so I got TASB on my mind.
TLCB, Texas Liquor Control Board.
Right.
So, but what happens? So, if you're on a jury and you have a case in Specs Liquor,
yeah,
in Knox City, we don't have a Specs Liquor in Knox City. Let's just say we did. Sells an underage kid, comes in, he flops out a fake ID.
Yep.
Goes down the road and has an accident and kills somebody.
Is the store liable or is the store clerk liable?
Both. I'm asking you. The kid showed a fake ID. You did by law what you're supposed to do. He wasn't drinking, so you didn't overserve someone or you didn't sell to someone that's inebriated.
Okay.
Just comes in, buys him a fifth of vodka.
Okay.
And he buys the good shit.
Tito's.
And he buys a fifth of Tito's.
Yeah.
And
looks like he knows what he's doing.
And he pulls out a fake ID.
Right.
And you look at it over and you look him over and you say, okay.
Right.
And he goes down the road and has this accident.
Kills a family of 4.
Or is that clerk liable and that store liable?
No. But there will be an insurance payment. We're going to settle out of court. It's not even going to come to a jury. It's not even going to go to a jury. Because Specs, which made up name, not a made up name, but not here in Knox City, Specs is for sure going to settle.
But they did what the law required them to do.
Yeah, but they're still going to settle. They're still going to pay money.
What if that was after?
Now, if it goes to a jury trial, I mean,
then you're at the mercy of who it is.
I mean, I don't know. If I'm presented that, depending on what there's a reasonable side of me that says people make mistakes. And people fuck up, and people usually are not very good at their job. If you look at the Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions game, a lot of people are just not good at their job. But I mean, the kid had a good fake ID. He got me. I don't know what you want from me.
Now,
I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna look at his teeth. I'm gonna age a fucking deer.
Let's move it back another notch now. Let's say that is Zach Shaver.
Yeah.
And he's got Andy Shaver's ID.
Is Andy Shaver liable?
For giving his ID to his little brother?
I mean, I guess you probably could get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble, yeah.
Did you give your little brother your ID ever?
I did not. I don't think. If I did, it was expired. So, that's the first thing they check for, isn't it?
Yeah, nowadays they used to not, though.
Oh, they didn't?
I had Chris Pruitt's ID.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That motherfucker had glasses in his picture, so he gave me a pair of his glasses to wear so I could get in these bars.
I believe you can get charges filed against you for giving away. I mean, that's a federal document, isn't it?
Yeah, I always would. If I'd have got caught, I'd have told him I stole it from Chris so he wouldn't get in trouble.
Jesse got her fake ID taken away. Same night she got she borrowed a Louis of all things. Why would you do that? And then she left it in the car. So took a Louis, borrowed a Louis, didn't even wear it out. Like she left it in the car. Car got windows punched out in it. Of course, that Louis gets stolen. So she had to buy a Louis, and she got her fake ID taken and thrown out of the club. Hell of a night for Jesse Sure at that time. Mother of my kids.
Then she got an MIP.
She has done that.
And had to do community service for me.
The old MIP.
And I covered that for her parents, so they never knew.
They know now.
I'm sure they did. But that was funny. She's like...
Even at 30, when she told him, she said she still got sweaty.
The funny part was when she asked me, she goes, Jeff, can I do community service where my parents won't see me?
It's going to be hard to do. You can wash the fire trucks in the back, I guess.
And I give her bad advice on that deal. She went to court, and I told him just to
throw yourself at the mercy of the judge.
Tell them that you did, that you're sorry, and that you apologize, and cry a little bit, because that always worked on me pretty well. But no, she did all that. And
not in Vernon, Texas.
He threw the book at her, and then the girl who pulled the old no-lie contendere got her shit dropped.
Everybody else, except for Jesse and another person that pled guilty, pled nolo contendere.
And they all got off.
They all got off.
That's the biggest bunch of shit in the world.
Yep.
That's so sorry.
So... It never pays to do the right thing, people. That's what I'm telling you to do right now. If you ever find yourself in this situation, nolo contendere. That's the 2 words you got to know. Maybe it's 3. I don't know. Nolo contendere.
I don't know how you can get by with a fake ID now. Well, it's got to be someone's actual driver's license.
Yeah.
Because when I had a fake ID when I was 17 or 18. I had Chris's, and I'd go to clubs, and he gave me a pair of, now this we thought this shit through. He gave me a pair of old glasses that he wore.
I'm going to write this down because I don't want to forget. Don't let me forget to talk about driver's license.
Okay. Anyways, I would wear these glasses, and it would make me feel like I was 14 foot tall.
Right, yeah.
I'd take them off as I get inside. But
listen, Superman, nobody could figure out Superman was Clark Kent because of a pair of glasses.
All these suckers whooped my ass. But I had that, and then he gave me one of his mom's credit cards.
Really?
And that way I could show a credit card with his name on it if they ever asked me for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a good friend because I never used the credit card.
Right.
But I used that a lot till I was 21. My buddy Mark Reed, we go the same place. We used to buy beer at a place in Wichita when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And we would buy beer. Looking back now, we bought a lot of alcohol for a lot of kids because we could always get it.
Are you liable if anybody gets hurt?
Well,
in today's world,
when you're 17 or 18, you don't think about that shit.
No, I agree.
Plus, in that time, nobody hardly sued anybody anyways.
Right.
And I got pulled over many times where the cop said this, you boys pour that shit out.
Boy, y'all know better.
Yeah. Who here's the most sober one of y'all?
Right.
Well, me, I only had 4 beers.
Yeah.
You drive everybody's home ass tonight. Don't you drink anymore tonight. Right. You take everybody home tonight. You don't let them drive. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Did that all the time. But we had a place we went and bought beer. Well, Mark turned 21 years old. He was all proud of himself. He walked in that same place and he flopped his driver's license down. By God.
Yeah.
The guy got fucking mad.
Why?
He'd been selling beer to him for 3-4 years and didn't know he was underage.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
You know?
I didn't even get ID'd the first time I bought beer at 21. Pissed me right off.
He's all like, wanted to be.
Yeah, I had my hand on my wallet. I was ready to pull it out. Have a nice night. Like, you fucking kidding me?
I'm assuming bars now scan driver's license.
I don't know. Anyway, driver's license. My grandfather is irate.
Oh, God.
Don't know how. I can't remember how old he is.
He's 77 or 78, I think.
Late 70s. Probably almost 80. He's got to go take another fucking driving test to renew his license.
They wouldn't let him do it online?
Nobody can.
At that age?
No. Period. With new legislation to get a new driver's license in Texas, to cut down on the amount of illegals that are getting driver's license, you got to take your birth certificate now to renew your driver's license. He said, I don't even know where my birth certificate is.
Where's he born at?
Fuck, I don't know. Probably on a hill outside of Rochester somewhere.
I bet he was born in Knox City at the hospital.
I don't even know if they were. I don't think they moved here until later.
I thought they lived here his whole life.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But still, he's like, it's from the 40s. So I don't know where it is. But to cut down on illegals getting driver's license in Texas, maybe you don't have to take the test again. You just got to take your birth certificate.
Does he not?
He said, I think he does have to take a driving test.
Does he have a passport?
Well, hell no. He had never left Rochester. No, he doesn't have a passport. But yeah, so find your birth certificate if you're having to renew your driver's license soon.
I just got my birthday's coming up at the end of the month. I want to look and see if I need to see if my driver's license when it expires.
But it's a whole deal. Oh, he's pissed. That fucking Abbott, blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah,
just pandering, trying to save face, and got all these people coming over, and he's trying to do all this, and just making it hard on the old folk.
Mine expires in 29.
Well, I understand that, Grandpa, but
you looking to see when yours expires now?
I think I just got mine redone not too long ago. He's pissed. Oh, he's pissed. More pissed. Mine doesn't expire till 31.
So you got. You had to get my passport expires here pretty quick. I need to get it redone before we go to Scotland.
It's not going to happen.
What?
When are you going to Scotland?
Probably. Mine's still good for this year. It don't expire until I think.
You have to turn in your old passport.
Well, I have it.
I understand. Your old passport is gone whenever you go to do the new one. So you're not going to have a passport for 2 months.
Oh, then I'm going to wait to do mine then until probably I don't think mine expires until next October. When's yours expire?
I just redid it. So 5 years, 3 years, whatever the thing is. I redid it before Canada in October.
So when you go get a new passport, you got to. What if you lose your old one?
I guess you got to go through the whole process again. I don't know.
I need to do that.
But you walk in, you do the paperwork. They retake your picture, and you give them your old passport, and it's gone for however long. So you're not going anywhere. So make sure you take that into account whenever you redo it.
I will do that then.
Boy, he's pissed.
I don't blame him. I had an old guy come to court. I had a lady come to court one time with her dad. Her dad was almost 90. He'd had an accident in a car. And the mother, or the daughter, was 3 years older than me. Hold on, let me get this. Zach.
We'll be right back.
Hello. You'll probably take a bag of decoy of silhouettes of goose decoys. He said there's some geese in there and ducks. All right. Anyways, this old man, his daughter is older than me a couple of years, and his wife his granddaughter is a couple of years older than me. His daughter is 75 years old. 70 years old at this time, probably, because this guy was pushing 90. So they come in to see me, and he had an accident. He hit a parked car, and his insurance is going to cover it and stuff. And he got a ticket, and so they come in there. Like before he come in the office, the granddaughter comes in. She says, "Jeff, can you do us a favor?" She goes, "Can you take Grandpa's driver's license away?" I said, "Well, I usually don't do that. That's not something normally we do." I said, "Normally what I do is I would just tell him he's got to go take a new driver's test to make sure he can pass the driving test, because usually it's an eyesight deal." Mm-hmm. She's like, "Man, we'd so appreciate it." So he comes in with his daughter, who's 75 years old, and the granddaughter's still there, and they talking to me and stuff. And so I tell him, I said, I'm calling him Bill. Just I don't want to mention his name. He's passed away. I said, "Bill," I said, "I'll make you a deal." I said, "Your ticket's $362. God almighty, 300, old man. Mm-hmm. I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do." I said, "If you'll go take a driver's license and you test and you'll pass your test," I said, "I'll just dismiss this ticket. If that's all you have to do, won't cost you a dime. Your insurance is paying for the accident. Nobody's hurt, no harm, no foul. That's what I'll do then, Jeff." I said, "Okay." "Thank you so much, Jeff." The daughter and the granddaughter just as happy as could be. "Thank you so much. He won't be driving no more, blah, blah, blah." He comes in about 2 hours later. "Here you go, Judge. Pass that test." I told him, "That's all I can do."
Yeah.
He ended up dying about 3 weeks later, but
in an accident.
No, he just died. But anyways, he passed his driver's test. They were so disappointed in that because they just knew that was going to be the end all. And so there's going to be some people, if you're like your grandpa, that have to take a test, they're going to flunk that test.
I don't know if he's got to take the test again. I think he was just more pissed off about the birth certificate. He said, "I've been driving since I was 14 years old."
I think everybody over the age of 65 should have to take a driver's test every 5 years. I really do. I've seen too many people that are danger to everyone else. Until you see a car wreck at full speed, and you can look them up on YouTube, because I'm sick and I watch that shit sometimes, and you see these people, how fast a car at 35 or 40 miles an hour and how heavy it is and what the damage it can do. Yeah. So I think everybody ought to have driver's test. I feel more safe driving with a 16-year-old kid than I do a 75-year-old man most times. Don't you?
Depends on where we're going. How's traffic that day? Out here, it ain't bad.
But a lot of old people, their reaction time's different.
Oh, yeah.
They get distracted. Now, good chance a 75-year-old man ain't dicking around on his phone like a 16-year-old kid is, though.
That is true. That is very true. But
there's got to be an app that's going to come out eventually that's going to block driving and using your phone.
I did see. So last time we were talking to Schuessler, he had said, I see a time where you get a digital duck stamp. It's going to be next year.
For the federal stamp?
Yep.
So the federal government's going to save a shitload of money by not having to give them print or stamps.
I think they're still.
State of Texas is that way now.
I think they're still going to sell. No. You got to have the.
You get a Waterfowl endorsement, but you don't get a stamp.
Oh, I see what you mean.
When I was a kid, we actually had 2 stamps on the back of our license.
Right. Because I've got the app for Texas, and all of the licenses are in here. But it says, I can pull it up right now. It says federal e-duck stamp, and it's only good for It's good for 6 weeks. The federal e-duck stamp. So I bought mine September 1st, and the duck stamp was good until October 15th. So after that, if I were to get checked again, I would have to present my
I'm so
paper.
Confused.
What?
Your federal duck stamp.
Yeah. I bought everything online.
Yes, and they send it to you at your house.
Yes.
And it's good for 15 days. After that, you have to actually have it.
No, it's good for 6 weeks.
And then after that, you have to.
The e-duck stamp.
But starting next year, it's good for the whole season.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Did you see about the bad luck the poor suicide bomber had yesterday?
I did not see there was a suicide bomber.
There was one in Rochester, New York, believe it or not.
Again?
No, the other one was in Buffalo. But they think that guy's throttle got stuck on that car.
Oh.
There was a guy in Rochester, New York, and there was some kind of concert going to, and he had a car and he had 12 bombs in it. An Uber driver ran a red light and they T-boned and the cars blew up.
Damn. Did it kill the Uber
killed
driver?
Everybody in both cars, but the guy they figured was going to drive that car into that concert and blow it up.
That's terrible. I wouldn't go anywhere now.
That's just, who would, I don't know. And while we're talking of concerts, I don't even know who Green Day is.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know I don't know their music. I'm sure I've heard it, but I don't know them. I wouldn't know them if they walked in the deal other than some dude that wears black eyeliner.
Right? At
Anyways,
50.
At 50, yeah. What looks like a fucking tool bag. Anyways, he was, I guess, had some anti-Donald Trump lyrics in some song he wrote that was a hit as his, and it's a big controversy, which I really don't give 2 shits. I don't think it really matters. I think people have decided that the government, some big rapper came out today and endorsed Donald Trump.
Most rappers are.
Yeah, they're tired of that shit.
Yeah. Green Day has the best changing of the time songs, probably. They got a lot of good music.
I don't know nothing about them. I know who they are. I know that they're famous, but I don't know any of their shit.
This is Good Riddance is the greatest.
It's time for
it's the greatest changing of the time songs, graduation, whatever you want to call it. It's the best.
So I've heard this song probably.
More than likely, yeah. If you've been to a high school graduation from 1990 whatever to 2000 something.
So they've been around a long time. Oh yeah, this is a good song.
Yeah, probably late 90s. It's the best.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in.
Okay,
Anyway,
fuck them. We
anyway.
ain't pushing them anyways.
Anyway, that's Green Day. Great song. Love it.
So Glenn Campbell read look at the second one on the right up there.
What?
On the right side of the screen.
Oh.
Glenn Campbell, Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. Put that on. I like Glenn Campbell.
Never heard of him.
Huh?
I don't know Glenn Campbell.
You're a kid. Yeah, you do.
Looking at that outfit, I'm glad I don't know him.
He's dead now.
Oh.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go.
Okay, turn it off now. Glenn Campbell was in Rooster Cogburn. Glenn Campbell sang The Rhinestone Cowboy. Glenn Campbell sang...
I'm around. So yeah, I've heard that.
He sang Wichita Lineman.
Hadn't heard that.
He sings Summer Nights. Or no, Southern Nights. Southern Nights. Oh, he's great.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, he was awesome. He sang a song called the greatest song ever written. God dang it, what's the name of that song?
It's not the greatest song
Look
ever
up
written.
look up Glenn Campbell's. Just Glenn Campbell.
I know the greatest song ever written.
What is it?
It is a new one.
Well,
it is a fucking new song,
okay.
and it is a banger.
Okay, go to Glenn Campbell. Gentle on My Mind.
Gentle on My Mind.
Yes.
I'm betting this is not the greatest.
And he did it too slow.
He did it too slow.
You did it faster.
That was it.
Well, do it.
It's the most recorded song in times.
That keeps you in the back roads by the rivers of my memory. It keeps you ever gentle on my mind.
No.
Yes.
No.
Well, he didn't write this song. It's a great song.
No, it's not the greatest song ever.
It's a great song. Anyways, let me tell you about Glenn Campbell. Pause it for just a minute.
Tell me about Glenn.
Glenn Campbell
TNN.
was and I can't remember the name of him. They did a Netflix special on him. There was a bunch of guys in L.A. that were studio musicians, and they did jingles and they did all kinds of stuff. And he was one of them, and he would do backups for people. And he got a singing gig of his own. He's very talented, very very good guy. One of the best artists ever. A lot better than Green Day.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that.
That is a great song right there. The most recorded song in the history, I think, ever. And I think maybe, what's his name? Dean Dillon might have wrote it. Or Bob Dylan may have wrote it. Look up who wrote Gentle on My Mind now. That's going to drive me crazy.
Gentle on My Mind, number 2. Survey says John Hartford, 1967.
Don't even know who he was.
Well,
It was a great song, though.
he wrote a great song.
It was a great song. So what's this great song now that's out?
Fuck, Jeff.
I mean, you brought this up, so I figured you know.
You're not even ready.
Okay, I can't wait to hear this.
It is called Year to Be Young, 1994, by
Jesus, they got nothing big enough for name.
Steven Wilson Jr. It is so fucking good. I have listened to this song, and everybody knows I'm a big acoustic guy. If you put out an acoustic version of something, I'm going to fucking watch it.
Well, put it on.
This guy, he's the next Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, that ain't saying much. He's going to be a liberal fuck then.
Well, I mean, his voice.
Okay.
His voice is it is so incredible. And the acoustic version, I feel like an asshole saying that because I feel like the person that's like, when you watch a great movie that was a book and everybody's like, oh, the book is so much better. I feel that guy's an asshole that says that.
I see where you're coming from on that. You
That
feel
guy's
like you're knocking down his talent.
Well, no, the guy's an asshole for saying, oh, the book's so much better. It's like, no, it's not. Like, guess what? If I'd have read a book about Oppenheimer, I wouldn't have got to see the titties and the sex. So the book's never better. Okay, that's number one. But whenever I'm like, oh, the acoustic is so much better, I feel like I'm that guy.
So you're sitting on. You're saying that there's no books are better than the movies. Is that what you're saying?
No, never.
I disagree on that sometimes.
Never. Anyway, here's the song. It's 4. We're gonna listen to all 4 minutes because it's that fucking good.
No, don't do that, Chris. He's not very famous. He only has 17,000 subscribers.
No, he's brand new.
I must admit I felt the flame. Kurt Cobain, a Fender Mustang. MTV brought me up. This is your brain on drugs.
He looks like Dahmer.
And I won't forget that first girlfriend that got me into Boys to Men. And I grew up about that year. My sweatshirt said no fear. My life was a stereo, and it was everything. First one in line for the last dance with Mary Jane. Hiding in my headphones, laying on the bedroom floor. 1994. Tell Mom, see you later. Don't be blowing up my pager. When the show's over, I'll come home. When that is, I don't cell phone, steady all passing notes. Yes, no, or I don't care. When my life was a stereo and it was everything, soundtrack, first kiss, out at the roller rink, hands held, two hearts falling on a hardwood floor. 1994. Think you know it all when you don't know any better. You tell yourself you're gonna live forever. Fire's burning and I'm still holding the torch. Yeah, from 1994. A year to be young, 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 a year to be young. When my life was a stereo, back when my life was a stereo, yeah. Back when my life was a stereo, man, it was everything. Soundtrack takes me back through all those memories, hiding in my headphones, laying on the bedroom floor. It takes me back through the days when a song was worth so much more. 1994.
Okay.
What a
1994.
fucking tune.
Well, I don't know if it's the greatest song ever.
Jeez.
That's a good song,
That's-
though.
I
We need to
love
get
that.
him on the podcast.
I love that
Because after
song.
this, he's going to get a ton of new
I
subscribers.
love that song.
How'd you stumble into that?
So I was hunting with Blake, and he played the regular record version of it, and somehow my phone was listening to me. And that night on TikTok, I was scrolling around, and a clip of this came up, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy can fucking sing. So anyway, I just found a little bit more. He's got a lot of good songs. He's got Father of Son is really good. All the Wars from Now On is a really good song.
You know,
He's got a lot of good stuff. Patches is kind of a good song. I like him, and I like his voice. He's got a unique voice. Evidently, he's a little bit older because
he looks old. 1994 was something
I
in
was
his life.
7 in 1994, and I was not, roller rinks and girlfriends and all that other
I
stuff.
caught
he
all
talks
that.
about.
See,
Right.
I related to all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That's not bad. You know, I've noticed now.
He said he wrote this. He went to kiss his first girlfriend, headbutted her, and then she called him at the end of the night and was like, "Yeah, this is just not gonna work out." So he went home, turned on Nirvana, and if you catch the very front, he does Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
He does a little riff of Teen.
I got that.
You did catch that? Yeah. Right after here is it's a little Teen Spirit riff. So that was the inspiration for 1994.
Payne told me the other day, we were talking about one of the Nirvana songs, is they took it off of another song. They, God, I wish I could remember what he told me. And there was something Nirvana, Kurt Cobain was a big fan of somebody else that you would not believe, and that some of the music and some of Nirvana's songs go back to that. And I can't remember who it was. It was somebody really that surprised me.
Really?
Yeah, really surprised me.
We'll listen to the first verse of All the Wars from Now On. It's a good song.
Anyways, he's not much to look at.
No, he looks like a nerd.
Where's he out of?
I don't know.
Hey Bill, hey Don, hey Roger, hey Ron, for Purple Hearts full of war stories and local diner black coffee. They'd laugh, act a fool, talk some trash, shoot the bull. But they're as sweet as a slice of chest pie with shrapnel still in their bodies. And I couldn't help but sit there, I watch them go about. And that's when it hit me, they got it figured out. All the wars from now on should be fought by old men. They're old enough to know better now, knowing better than back then. They set the weapons on the ground and crack a couple cold beers, share Polaroids of the grandkids, let the black powder smoke clear. They play cards and shake hands, make some new friends. All the wars from now on should be fought by old men.
That's a very good point too. What's the guy's name? Oliver Anthony.
Yeah.
And this guy here, we're starting to go back to the '60s where music had
A message?
yes,
Yeah.
because we got away from that when we got into the hair band shit. It was, and I love the hair band music. I think the best
Right.
music in the world was from 1975 to about 1995.
But even that stuff in the 70s had a message.
well, but we got away from that.
Yeah,
Even the early
100%.
70s, we had messages. That's what I mean. From 65 to 75,
Mm-hmm.
very political the music was. From Leonard Skinner to everybody had a message just about Creedence, all these people. We're starting to see that again.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like Green Day just going out and trying to be an asshole. I'm talking about the whole song was focused on some kind of, like Creedence, one of their songs is about the Kent State Massacre, and I can't remember which song it is right off the top of my head.
I don't think it's Creedence. In that,
I thought it was CCR that had a song about the Kent State.
they might. I'm thinking of the other one. Look what's happening.
Yeah.
Hey, no, that's not Creedence.
Look what's happening now. There's a man with a gun over there pointing.
I don't think that's Creedence. Hey Mama, wasn't it? Hey, Mama, what's that sound? Right?
Hey, what's that sound?
Oop, I didn't mean to put a period there.
No. God dang. Everybody look around.
Buffalo
Springfield. Yes. Great tune right
Yeah,
there.
that's a good one too. I think that's the one about Kent State.
But with music then had a lot of them had stories and had a reason what they were singing. We went from the sock hop music that was about nothing other than just a beat.
Right.
Then we got into where everybody's pushing the stuff. Then we got into the music again where it wasn't about the message. Well, now it seems like a lot of these guys are starting to play a message.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I do. He's my new. He's good. I like it.
You got to reach out to him see if he wants to be on the podcast.
Most of the stuff he does is pretty good. The Year to Be Young was released in 2018, so it's been around a while. But Spotify put it on their something at the on the landing page, and that's why it's gotten so popular.
He's got a different voice for sure.
Oh yeah, fucking phenomenal voice.
But I wouldn't pay him the greatest song ever. No.
1994 is the greatest song.
No. Gentle on My Mind's better than that. There's a lot of other ones. God, you can't. That's all an opinion-based deal. It's like on who's the best guitar player.
Yeah.
His voice is not very good, but his music's good.
He's got who?
This guy here.
He's got a unique voice.
He has a unique voice, just like that Oliver Anthony guy did too.
Right.
Willie Nelson's got a good voice. Not a good voice. He's got a unique voice.
Yeah.
Is Willie going to see 100?
I hope.
I hope I didn't jinx him.
If cannabis would be good to like that should be your spokesperson. Like look what you can do. Get away from alcohol and just smoke a little bit of dope.
So did Snoop Dogg really give up smoking pot?
No. He got in contact with like a grill company.
The smokeless. I was saying the commercials.
Yeah, that's all it was.
So it's not. So he didn't give up smoking pot.
I don't think so.
What's the deal with Martha Stewart now? Did you see her little lingerie shot?
God bless her. Prison did her good.
It's sad. What'd she go to prison for? 2-3 years?
Yeah. For insider information.
But Nancy Pelosi's running around free.
Yeah. I saw, so there's a clip with the Wolf of Wall Street. He did an interview with Tucker Carlson. And he said that Warren Buffett, a long time ago, late 2007-ish, right around there, I believe, he offered $1 million to whoever could beat the S&P 500. $1 million if you can beat it over
Did Nancy Pelosi collect her check?
however long. Not a single hedge fund could do it. Nobody in the entire first of all, hardly anybody took the bet, and then finally somebody did, and they quit after 7 months because they realized you just can't beat the S&P 500. So, but you got all these politicians that are
Way
head and
ahead.
shoulders above the S&P 500.
Yep.
Smartest minds in the country can't figure out how to beat it,
But
but the
worthless
politicians
fucking
can
politicians can.
every time. But it's just because they invest in legislation that they're about to pass.
Yeah, that's all the time. What do you?
He'd be somebody I'd like to get on the podcast, Jordan Belfort.
So we talk about the S&P and stuff. And I was talking politics. Did you see another black guy come out today just endorse Joe Biden or Donald Trump? Charlemagne the God.
Really?
The biggest mistake he ever did was voting for Biden and Harris.
Really?
Yep. I want to look up something on Nancy Pelosi real quick.
Wonder if she was on Epstein's plane.
I
Probably
think
not.
I don't know. She graduated from Trinity College, Washington, in '62.
She's crooked. I don't know if she did those little
She's
kids,
a
though.
crooked as shit. Yeah, I don't know that she's a child molester, but she is damn sure crooked as shit. Her dad was a big time. I think he was mob connected. Yeah, he was back to Venice because she's Italian.
Watching Oppenheimer, though, and this is kind of a hard pivot from that, but the minds of those guys is just incredible.
Was he on the spectrum?
He was kind of a piece of shit. I mean, not a piece of shit. Just
You're going to tell me this fucking
no,
movie?
no. I'm not going to tell you the movie. He's not a piece of shit at all. That was the wrong thing to say. But like, just a chain smoker and womanizer. That's kind of it.
The smart one.
Yeah, fucking brilliant. But
So you don't think he was on the spectrum?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that you get that from that movie at all. Which I mean, obviously, you're at the mercy of what they want to show you. I mean, you're not seeing any footage of him.
Don't you think most people like that though are on the spectrum? Like Elon Musk, you think he's on the spectrum?
Yeah, Elon is for sure.
Yeah.
But
Do you think Jeff Bezos is?
I don't. I think Jeff Bezos is just ruthlessly ambitious.
What about Bill Gates?
He probably could be a little bit.
Most of those bright minds like that think out of the box
Yeah.
are definitely out of the box.
Yeah. And like he was more just kind of the organizer of it all. I don't know how much of his science was going into making up the atom bomb. They had the best minds in the world.
All Germans are just about, weren't they?
Jewish, a lot of them.
But German Jews.
I don't know if they were German, but a lot of them were Jewish.
I think a lot of them were German.
And they said that was probably the only thing that kept Germany from getting it before us, is the best minds at the time in quantum physics were Jewish people.
And they were definitely stalling it.
And they were not helping Hitler.
No.
If they could. Problem was, we had a handshake agreement with Russia. And then when we got the technology,
We gave it to Russia.
kind of.
You know what? Let's be honest, though. The United States isn't the pillar in the sky like everybody thinks they are.
No.
We're a crooked piece of shit country.
Yeah.
Now, the people of the United States are not. But our government is ruthless, bad people.
Right.
They're horrible. That's the reason we have the drug problem we have. If they wanted to stop the drugs coming into our country, they could do it in a heartbeat.
But they said there was no way that Japan would get out of that war unless we put boots on the ground. They would not have surrendered.
They'd still be fighting.
They said it's just that's their makeup. So unless we put boots on the ground on the islands of Japan and lost a whole lot of kids, Japan's not going to stop. So I don't know.
We had to drop the bomb.
He struggled a lot with that.
About killing all the people?
Yeah. And I mean, he knew at the beginning what was going to happen, but
Well,
and true,
the Japanese did not think about the American kids on the USS Arizona.
no, but yeah, I mean, obviously,
They
but
didn't.
I don't think the toll wasn't hundreds of thousands.
No, but they wasn't going to stop.
No.
You know what, though? When you start a war, if you start a fight, if you're some jackass and you go into a club and you start shit and some guy beats your ass, you're asking for it.
Yeah.
The Japanese government asked for what happened to them. And I'm sure if you get behind the scenes, there's some war machine type shit going on. I don't know when the war machine started. I don't know if it was in World War I. It was damn sure in World War II. But someone saw the profit to be made by war.
Yeah.
And who knows what was involved in all of that. You know, you just talked to me the other day. We was talking about all the fighting that was happened in North Africa.
Yeah, World War II.
You know, the Italians fought over there a bunch. Rommel was there. The Germans. That was a big and a nasty place to fight. Now, do you believe Alex Jones is pretty level? Do you think Alex Jones is smarter than he gets credit for? And do you think he's honest?
Well, I don't know about honest. I think he's ahead of his time on a lot of things for sure, because he says a lot of things and you're like, that's stupid. That'll never happen. And then
I think he's pretty.
He's early. He's like 5 years early on.
I think he's a bright guy. I really do. I don't know if he's a good person,
right?
But I think he's pretty smart.
Never been around him, so I can't say if he's honest or dishonest. But I think he's definitely spot on a lot of things.
He had an interesting take today on George Soros is involved. George Soros says that Netanyahu is wanting to ship all the bad elements from Gaza out. Mm-hmm. They're either going to send them to a compound in North Africa. George Soros wants to fund to send them to the United States and to Europe. Why the fuck do we need them people here?
Yeah, right.
We don't need them. We need to shut our fucking border down. I don't give a shit if it's a melting pot. Every place in the world was a melting pot at one time or another. Every place. England was a melting pot at one time.
Oh.
Every place in the world at one time or another, as the world and the population grew in the country, was overtaken by people from other places. It's not just the United States.
Right.
We're unique in the way that we were separated, and it was an opportunity, so people came from all over the world. But it wasn't the only melting pot they ever had. All of Europe's been a melting pot forever. We don't need all that shit, no more than Europe does.
Right.
The Muslims are killing our world. Every place that they go and take over turns out to be a shithole. Dearborn, Michigan, a shithole. Minneapolis is a shithole now. All because of the Muslims. You talk to somebody in Minneapolis and they'll tell you the same thing, unless they're a diehard liberal.
Right.
Everybody in Minneapolis will tell you that the city's turned to shit because of all the Muslim problems they have. Now, George Soros I say send him to George Soros' ass. First of all, we need to get rid of George Soros.
Well, time will do that.
Well, time sure has been very patient for him. And his son's the biggest piece of shit as he is.
Yeah.
And our politicians just get in bed with him. What's going on with your phone you're so distracted by?
Somebody was asking if I deposited a check, and I thought I did, but they're saying it didn't clear their books.
Oh, so I guess you didn't deposit the check.
I thought I did. Oh. It was one of those, you take the picture.
I don't do any of that.
And like that's 50-50, I've noticed, especially out here.
Oh, I don't do any of that.
Well, for a lot of people, it works. Technology, on the other hand, for me.
Have you seen the story about the old man that goes to the bank? Son gets on to him and says, Dad, it's supposed to be a true story. Tells his dad, said, Dad, we can do all this online with your computer.
Right.
And shows him how to do it online. Well, his dad doesn't do it. He goes to the bank every day. Dad, you don't have to do that. And finally, the dad said, listen, I'm a widow. Mm-hmm. I get up in the morning and I go to the coffee shop and I have coffee with the men at the table. I go to the grocery store every day to get one or two things because I might bump into someone I can talk to. Then I go to the bank every day because I like to visit with the ladies that work there. And then I go here every day. And he said, don't take that away from me. I don't have very many days left of getting to. And that's sad, but as I get older, I see that.
I ain't got much else to do, kid.
Yeah. I mean, you enjoy visiting with people. And the reason you see that every town's got a cafe that's got the Dead Pecker Club or the Table of Knowledge. Well, those old men go in there because that's the only time they get to be around people their own age to sit and visit about things that they like.
What time? I thought the Epstein thing came out at noon.
It's supposed to come out today.
Oh.
I hadn't seen it, at least on nothing other than Twitter. None of the mainstream medias have picked it up yet. It's coming today, though. The judge is doing it.
ESPN apologizes for airing video of woman flashing breasts during Sugar Bowl telecast. Fuck, I knew I should. Well, I watched Oppenheimer, so I saw boobs. Did you see the titties on in the Sugar Bowl?
No, I went to bed at the end of the third quarter. I said, the game's over with. And then I was asleep, and all of a sudden my phone buzzes, and it's Payne. And I'm like, hey, he goes, what are you doing? I said, sleeping. He goes, huh? He goes, you're not watching the game? I said, no, it fucking was over. He said, you need to turn it on. He said, Texas is on the 12-yard line with 15 seconds left with the chance to win the game. So I said, okay. So I went in the other room, got in the living room, turned the TV on, watched 2 plays, went to bed.
You did?
Yeah. And then I saw everybody this morning was bitching about pass interference on the last play. That's football. I want one time for them to say to have a game where the officials don't make a call at the end that changes the game.
Oh, don't blur it out. What are you doing? Let's see. Oh, you're on Bourbon Street. That's your first bad
She's
thing.
gonna pull it down. Here goes.
That wasn't that
That
bad.
wasn't even much titties.
Well, they had a football over it. Let's see. Maybe this will be another one.
I think
Why would you go to Bourbon Street to do this, though?
This is great.
And like wouldn't you figure? Oh, she pulled him out. Yeah. Wouldn't you figure that would be on a delay?
I don't know.
Like, wouldn't that be like stock footage?
I don't know, but those aren't very good tits. They look like fried eggs on nails.
I thought she was like in the stadium and did it.
No, it was on. I knew that it was on. I saw something this morning on Twitter or something about it, or X, whatever you call it. But I didn't know exactly. I didn't go looking for it.
Like, you figure all that crap is days old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not live footage, because you don't know what you're gonna get.
That's great though. Some little 12-year-old boy's happy as shit.
Yeah. What's Texas gonna do with Manning?
Let him sit behind Years. Years play like he did last night. He might be a starter next year. Years did not play very good last night. Did not look like he had any go in it. I'm
Washington, man. I'm telling you, Washington.
That kid, I'm telling you, that kid throws a great deep pass. I was really impressed with him. And it's playing against college kids, but my God, Texas a lot of times had great coverage, and the ball was just within inches of being right where it needed to be, and they say he throws a great deep ball. His receivers are good, too. They got a good football team.
Grand Blanc, Michigan. One person won the $842 million Powerball.
Hope it's Lucas Bellinger.
Cash value is $425 million. The government is the biggest winner in all of these jackpot drawings.
Yep. The government got $425 million to give to Ukraine yesterday. It's on everything, though.
Yeah.
You go to the casino, and every time someone gets a jackpot, government's getting 28% of it.
Those were the numbers?
Yep. I started to pick them.
Those are my numbers.
Yep, there you go.
Powerball numbered 1. I always do 1. Son of a bitch.
The government just kills it on everything that they do. Every transaction the government gets money out of. Fuck the government. I'm tired of it.
So if you get 5 numbers and not the Powerball, it's $2 million.
Yep.
That'd be a nice pay.
And the government would get $1 million.
Get $1 million of it.
But they don't have anything invested in it.
Mm-mm.
It's just crazy. But what's crazy is we have elected people that think that's okay. And we're broke. How the fuck are we broke as a country?
Yeah, that should be a nice down payment on something.
Yeah, $425 million the government got. But we're broke. I mean,
Michigan will get some of that and squander it.
Well, no. That'll be a separate tax. That'll be a state income tax. The federal government tax is going to be about 40% on that.
Right.
That's not counting what the state's going to charge him, because some states have 8%, 10%.
Will that be on the net part? Will that be on the 425 part? The state?
No. I'm assuming the cash value is $425.2 million. I'm assuming the state of Michigan's going to say, whoa, hold on. We have a 8% sales tax, so you're going to owe us $36 million.
So that is okay.
Now, I'm not in Michigan, so I don't know how the rules work.
But what I'm
there.
saying is the cash value
is not counting what the federal government gives you. That's with the federal taxes taken out.
I don't think so.
I
think
it's
that's
federal and state.
No, I don't think anything's been taken out.
Yeah,
at that point.
he took the cash drawing. The estimated cash value is $425 million.
Right.
He won $842 million. The other part,
that's over an extended amount of time.
I think
you'll get the $842 if you take a drip.
I think when you take it at one time, it's taxes and everything. That's after taxes. It's $425 $0.2 million. I hope. If not, then he only won $220 million.
Right.
And then the government's really fucking you, and they're getting 600. They're getting 3/4 of it. I think that's after the taxes have been taken out, federal taxes. I think. Can you imagine if we had to look this up because one of us won that sucker?
I'll just do lottery.
I always said if I won the lottery, I'd keep doing what I'm doing.
That's a lot of money.
I would still do because I like what we're doing. I'd still do the podcast and everything, but I sure wouldn't worry much.
Yeah, I would. How much of the Powerball cash option is paid after taxes?
My employees would sure happy if I won that.
If you win the minimum $20 million jackpot and choose a lump sum payout, the federal government withholds 24% from your winnings. So, yeah, he's getting that taken out. You're looking at a $12 million payout. That's just federal. So federal is going to take 24% of $425 million, and then Michigan's going to take whatever theirs is.
Well, it's saying if you take 20, that
That's the minimum.
Yeah, and the cash option's $8 million. So that's after taxes. So it's about the same. I think that they've already taken it out. See, that's why if you win $20 million, the federal government withholds 20% automatically. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So they are taking 24% of
right off the bat,
$800 million or whatever.
Yep.
$12 million payout, roughly the lump sum of a $20 million jackpot. You'll pay just a scotch under $3 million in taxes. Now you were down to 9.1. So you're still taking taxes out of that.
You're getting $20 million. You're going to get half of it.
A little less. Right here.
Listen to this. Before you file your federal and state tax returns the following year, if your winnings plus your income put you over the top marginal tax rate, you win $12 million. Yeah, you're going to be over that marginal
You're
deal.
in the top bracket now. You're a 0.01%er at that time.
Yep.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, but our government does it on every fucking thing you do.
And they don't even want you to gamble. Isn't technically this gambling?
Oh, they like it because they get paid. Why would they not like it? They're getting.
I'm saying there's places where gambling is illegal because it's immoral or whatever.
Where at?
You can't gamble in Texas.
Bullshit. They got a lottery.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, they want you to have the lottery. They don't want you to gamble. That's right.
Cherry pick what we're good with gambling.
I got to pee real quick. We're going to talk about something else.
Take another break.
All right, we're back. So we get off taxes now. I want to talk to you about something you brought up this weekend. It's kind of controversial.
Me?
Yes, you.
I didn't say anything controversial
Yes,
this
you
weekend.
did. You said God was a hypocrite.
No, I didn't say he was a hypocrite.
What'd you say?
I just said he had hypocritical tendencies.
Well, don't that make you a hypocrite?
No, it's all different.
So explain to me how he's a hypocrite.
Okay. Well, so we were in the Christmas service, and I did not realize how old Mary was whenever she was planted with the seed of God.
13 or 14, right?
That's what research leads people to believe.
I didn't have birth certificates back then.
Yeah, right. I just think it's funny that Joseph is like, I got to get rid of this girl. Like, what are people going to think of me having a pregnant, out of wedlock wife? That's what you're worried about? You're not worried about her being 13 or 14? You're worried about what people are going to say, her being pregnant out of wedlock?
That was pretty normal then.
Apparently so.
What do you think? What do you think childbearing ages were in the medieval times?
I don't know.
You're looking at me like I'm lost here. What do you think? 12, 13, 14? What do you think about the Indians?
A lot of phlegm in that. Jeff, we were just talking about the age of consent just an hour ago.
I know.
So now it's a hard reverse. I mean, now you're okay with it?
What do you mean? I'm just saying that's the way things were back then. It's kind of like slavery.
Okay.
I don't condone slavery at all.
Right.
But there was a time in the world where slavery was not looked upon as socially unaccepted.
Right.
There is a time when everything's got a time and a place. Girls were having sex and getting married at young ages then. There wasn't a law that was 18 years old. Look at colonial times. How old? What do you think the average person was at the age of giving birth then?
I don't know.
I'll bet you that in the colonial days of the mid 1700s, I bet 16 years old was considered old to be having your first child.
There's got to be an answer here, right? 6 unbelievable but true facts about colonial life.
Average age was 48 years of age.
It said one guy was.
I thought it said the average age was 48 when you died.
Oh, when you died?
Yeah. More than 1 in 3, a third of all girls in colonial ages were knocked up when they were walking down the aisle.
Where did it say that? Oh.
Right up there.
Marriage lasted on average less than 12 years because of high mortality. Children, more than half of children 13 and under had lost at least one parent. Knew that already. Parents expected some children to die. Knew that. Imported goods. Just, I guess that's not the answer I was looking for.
It didn't even say nothing at all about it.
Not a thing. Yeah, I would assume it would be pretty young. Probably.
Yeah, that was common. But and it would be the same at all. In the Wild West, it was the same. It was everywhere.
Let's see. This might have something. It's going to make me pay to read it, though, I bet. Midwife tale.
Also, a lot of single moms in, too.
Well, yeah, Dad died a lot of times. I can't find anything just skimming. I would have to... Okay, hold on. So, statistics show that under age 18, mothers and their children... Oh, never mind. Do better if they do not marry their fathers. I feel like the Washington Post is just trying to get you to believe something. So, you know, that was the first little... kind of thing of the story. And then Tex, I believe in his last podcast with us, he said that angels came down from heaven and had sex with regular people, and then they created like this. The regular people had this newfound knowledge, maybe, and newfound powers, and that was not acceptable in God's eyes. They just learned from the man.
So you're calling God a hypocrite still?
No. I'm just saying that what he did could be viewed as kind of, hey, those are my people to impregnate.
So he should have impregnated a woman over 21. You'd have felt better?
No, I mean, just the whole thing is just kind of, There wasn't a single virgin that was a little bit older, maybe?
Well, it sounds like reading this deal, there wasn't a whole lot of virgins around.
And, you know, you're going to...
Maybe he had to find one that age to find a virgin.
You're going to throw your seed on her, kind of against her knowing?
I told you a couple weeks ago I don't buy into the whole Noah's Ark deal.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there was an ark. I believe there was a man named Noah. I believe he built it. I just don't buy the 2x2 and all the animals in the world. I just don't buy that shit. Now, if Jesus could feed the masses with 5 fish and a loaf of bread, then he could figure a way to feed a polar bear next to a cat. I don't understand all the intricacies of the ark. I would like to go to the ark that's built in Kentucky and see that.
You know, they filed an insurance claim. It flooded.
Huh? The ark did?
Yeah, they had,
obviously not a very good one then.
Yeah, you know, they built the specs right. They didn't build it to float, by golly. But anyway.
Did you know that in 1980, the average age of a first-time mother was 1% of the population was 14?
In 1980?
In 1980. In 2016, it's went down.
Mm-hmm.
The average, you know what age is the highest deal for babies right now? 18 years of age.
Really?
That surprises me. But there's a lot of girls under 18 that got 3 or 4 kids. That probably changes it up a lot.
Don't be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God. You will become pregnant, give a birth to a son, and name him Jesus. He will be a great man, son of the Most High. The Lord will give him the throne of his ancestor David. Your son will be king of Jacob's people forever, and his kingdom will never end. How can this be? I am a virgin. The Holy Spirit will come to you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the holy child developing inside of you will be called the Son of God. Elizabeth, your relative, is 6 months pregnant with a son. In her old age, people said she couldn't have a child, but nothing is impossible for God. Mary answered, I am the Lord's servant. Let everything you've said happen to me. Then the angel left her.
Now, we're looking at this from being your standpoint, like that'd be really hard. But if an angel comes and talks to you, you're good. You know it.
I don't know.
You don't think so? If an angel come down to you,
I wouldn't believe it.
well, who do you think's talking to you?
I just wouldn't believe it.
So if you see a little thing floating around with wings around and stuff and tells you this stuff, you don't.
I would probably end up thinking the average person, which I consider myself to be very average, maybe even a little below, would just hand wave that experience away as a dream.
So if Jesse and you're sitting there and this angel comes down and says he knocked Jesse up.
Doesn't say anything about anybody else being in that room.
So Joseph wasn't in there too, you don't think?
No.
So when did he tell Joseph?
I guess when she started showing, I don't know. Or when I think he tried to leave Mary and he was like, no, you're not going to do that.
That'd be tough to stay with a pregnant woman if you didn't have sex with her.
Yeah. That's my virgin.
Yeah, that would be a really tough deal.
But I'm assuming Joseph had several wives. That was also common back in the time.
Oh no.
But yeah, if Jesus came to me in the middle of the night and said, whatever, pick whatever miracle I'm going to undertake, I would hand wave it away and just be like, nah, it was a dream.
See, I think
Now, if he came back a couple times, then maybe, we gotta start listening.
I think if God God has his plan. There's no doubt. And I'm not second guessing God. So just
Sounds like you are.
But if he'd come in that booming voice and talk to everybody, Christianity go through the books. If he come down and said, Jeff, go to church, I'd be there every Sunday.
I don't think you would.
It would if he'd scare me. Okay, swing us around again. Back to the babies and mamas. What county, what area in the United States
West Virginia
has the oldest first-time mothers? Not the youngest first-time mothers, oldest first-time mothers. And when I tell you the list after you guess, you're going to say that makes sense because it does to me after I read the math.
It's going to be a highly affluent, the oldest, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to be a very affluent part of the country.
Yes.
So places that have a lot of professional women, lawyers, doctors, that sort of thing. Maybe like, it's got to be a suburb of some sort. It's not going to be a major metropolitan because that's going to get drugged down by.
Actually, it is.
It is a major metropolitan.
San Francisco.
Damn it! I was going to say San Francisco. I seriously was.
31.9 years of age.
But I figured, because I just figured all the bad stuff going on in San Francisco was the only reason I didn't say San Francisco.
Manhattan is second.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah.
So once I read the list, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Piketon County, Colorado. I don't know where that is, but I'm assuming that's probably an affluent area of Denver, if I'm guessing.
Probably.
Or Pitkin County, Colorado.
Yeah.
Is tied with Manhattan at 31.1. There's 4 of them. Falls Church City, Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C., where all the wealthy people are. Marion County, California. I think that's where Calabasas is. Arlington County, Virginia. Teton County, Wyoming, which is going to be Jackson Hole, I bet. Norfolk County, Massachusetts. Alexandria City of Virginia. And Middlesex County, Massachusetts. All the wealthy, affluent areas from liberal cities. So those women right there don't have children. A lot of them.
They did a whole thing about this. It's actually really, really good.
In San
Francisco,
Francisco,
childless by 30. So there are more women without children at 30 than there are women with children. The first time ever.
Well, somebody clipped a part of one of my podcasts, I believe it was, where I was talking about what our society does to 19-year-old women or 18-year-old women, 19-year-old women. We just lie to them all the time. You know, the first lie is there's nothing more important than your career, more or less by definition. So that's the first lie. The second lie is there will be nothing more important to you in your life than your career. So that's the second lie. And then the third lie is there should be nothing more important in your life than your career. So that's the third lie. What I've seen is that as women progress towards their late 20s, there's a psychological transformation. And what happens is that they place less emphasis on their career and way more emphasis, particularly on having a child.
And oftentimes it's not possible because you reach a certain age where it's just you're going through in vitro, and so maybe God was right. You got to hit it. You know, that's the peak age in your teen years or childbearing years, late teens, early 20s. If you're going to have a kid, that's when you're most prime. And now, like, having kids is scary. You know, I mean, we were later. I think I was 27, I think. Reese is 9. So, yeah, I was 27. So, I mean, Jesse was 25. You know, that's you know, and if we wanted to have a kid now, like if Jesse were a high-powered lawyer, let's say. She went through school, I don't know how many years. She's coming out of college mid-20s, early, 24, 25-ish. She wants to get her career established, so that's 5 years, and then, she works her ass off, and these high-powered women they're working 80 hours a week, making their career, and then they want to become partner at a law firm, and, so there's a decade of your life. Well, a lot of these women are looking at having kids in their mid-30s, and the ship has sailed for a lot of people biologically. Marissa Tomei and my cousin Vinny, my clock is ticking. She's not wrong. So a lot of women that want to be a big doctor or a big lawyer or some big professional come out of college, and then they devote 10 years of their life to pursuing that. And then they're just too old.
I think over 40 is too old to have a child. Not all cases, because there's a difference. It's hard on the female at 40.
Yeah, it's hard to recover.
And I'm 55 years old right now. I can't imagine having a 15-year-old kid in the house.
And that's why a lot of times, that's why we're below replacement, because if a woman is in her mid-30s, she'll have one kid.
Yes.
And that's all she can do. By the time she's ready to bounce back, she's looking at 38 or 39 before she's ready to have another kid.
Kids are meant for young people.
And it's too tough to do. So that's why we're below replacement, is because women have gone out into the world. And like Dr. Peterson said here, like from the time they were a little girl, everybody's told them, get a career, be self-sufficient. Nothing is going to be more important than what you do in your professional life. And then they do the 80 to 90 hours a week for a decade. We've already talked about how women marry. They marry across and up. So they're going to marry, at minimum, another lawyer. So their bring home together is $500,000, would you say?
Probably.
Approximately.
300 to $500,000.
So she says, why should we both work 80 to 90 hours a week? I'll cut back. I'll go to part-time. I'll work 40 hours a week, put my career on the back burner. He's already bringing home $250,000. Like, we're set. We're fine. So now I want a kid. Well, it's just, you waited too long. And it sucks to say, but you just did. You focused on the wrong thing at the wrong time. Or I shouldn't say wrong, because everybody's got to make their own determination of what's important at their life. But your goals change as you get older in life.
That is a for sure deal. And I am going through that in the last 6 months, where things that were important to me a year, 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago are not as important as, oh shit, I'm getting old. I need to get this done before I die.
Yeah.
Because you get to that point where you start thinking about that.
Yeah.
You think, I want to make sure I leave the world better than what I got here with, or whatever it is.
Right.
You start seeing the reality is that other than having something bad happen to you, the average person lives to be 78 years of age.
Right. And how many of those last year? So let's say you got another 20 years, just for easy math. How many more years are you gonna be able to go do whatever it is that you want to do?
Yes,
just because you're alive doesn't mean that your body can withstand a flight to Scotland or whatever, and then go trek up the Highlands of Scotland. So just because you're alive doesn't mean that you can go. Like if my grandparents wanted to go to Scotland today, they're screwed. They waited too long. You're about 15 years too late on that. But people don't think about that. They think, well, I'll be here till I'm 75. Yeah, but can you make that trip? Can you make that trip at 72? Probably not.
Your life can improve up till about 60 to 65 years of age. You can improve things in your life.
Yeah.
After 65 years of age,
For the average person.
the percentages of people who live a good quality life doing whatever they want to do after 65 drops dramatically.
Yeah.
After 75, very rare to find a guy and everybody knows that one guy that's 80 years old.
That's why he's in the newspaper. That's why they're writing an article about him.
Yeah, because
old man scales Mount Everest. That's because it's an anomaly.
Yes.
If it was normal, nobody would write a book about it.
No, that's right. And as you age, but you have to get to an age. I don't know if I got to an age or me having that heart incident a couple of weeks ago, but something in me changed that I look at things a little bit different now.
Yeah.
Now, I've always wanted to live until I die. I've always been that way. I've gone and done stuff. I spent money I didn't have to go do shit I like to do because I've got too many friends of mine that have died or got old and had something happen to them, never done shit. And I don't want to be that person. But you're going to get to a point where you realize, well, it's with motherhood the same way. These people that have, I know 2 girls I went to school with that never had kids.
Yeah.
And I bet if you could get them to tell you the honest to God, too, they have a ton of regrets.
Probably.
One of them fucked her life up and just screwed it up one time after another. The other one is a professional lady. Never wanted to have kids. Wanted to be the biggest, best at what she does. Well, she is that, but she has nothing.
Yeah.
She's got a miserable husband, just like she's miserable. They've spent their whole life into their careers, and now that they're age, they don't have nothing around them but a dog. That's no life.
It's tough, but I mean that's what we've told girls for a long time now. That's what I was trying to tell Reese when she was in here last week. It's like, if that's what you want, that's fine, but you know there's gonna come a time where you're gonna have this payoff. There's going to be a tipping point in your life. And maybe there's not. For some women, I'm sure that there's not. But for a lot of these women that do these sort of things, they get to this point and they're like, God dang.
It's tough.
Was it that important?
It's tough to have a kid when you're 40 years old. Because, first of all, you're not going to have a lot in common with other moms.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I don't care where you live at, what neighborhood you live in. If you live in an affluent neighborhood or you live in a poor neighborhood, if you're 40 years old and you have a newborn child, and that means at 45 you're starting pre-K and stuff, you're going to be dealing with a bunch of 22 to 25-year-old moms that may not have much financially, but they've got time and energy to spend with their kids.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Not all old people are that way that have kids, because there's not, but you don't get to enjoy them. You know, like you do if you have them at a younger age when you can't afford them. Another problem is that the people that can afford kids don't have them because they're financially responsible.
Yeah.
Having multiple kids.
Yeah.
You know, you got Phillip Rivers. He's got 18 kids. Well, he's got millions of dollars. He can afford to do it. The average person that has a ton of kids, most of them can't afford them.
Yeah.
They just keep having them and they get checks from the government and stuff. It's an incentive to keep having more kids. Well, people like you and Jesse are very financially responsible. Y'all are really good parents. Y'all should have more kids. But you also like to have your freedom. You're getting at the age now where y'all can do stuff with Jameson that y'all couldn't have done 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, that's a trade-off too. Like, it's funny that that song, Year to Be Young, I was listening to it, and, you know, he's talking about sitting in his room listening to music and telling mom, you know, I'll see you when I see you. Like, Reese is coming up on that age rapidly. He's 9 now. You know, you're looking at another 4 years. He's a teenager. Well, three and a half, really. And I remember how I was as a teenager, and you get this independence, and you don't need mom and dad anymore. And you know, that's a sad thing to think about. That we're kind of we're reaching a peak with him being the little kid. So, you know, part of you is like, well, would we like another kid? But that doesn't make the kids you have any younger.
Do you want to be a dad or a daddy? Because daddy's fun.
Right.
Being dad's not that much fun.
Right.
You know,
coming up on dad pretty quick.
Yeah, and you know what dad stands for? I need money.
Yeah.
Daddy is all about everything.
Yeah.
But when you're a dad, I'm in jail. Mm-hmm. Dad, I need money. Dad, I need a new cell phone. Dad, I need this. Dad, my truck's out of gas. Can I have your credit card? Dad, that's what Dad's about. Daddy's all about everything.
Yeah.
Daddy, will you watch TV with me? Daddy, will you do this? Dad, you know.
And it means telling them no. You know, if you listen to more Dr. Peterson, it's the female crucifixion is Mary brought Jesus into the world knowing that he was going to be destroyed by the world. And that's what you have when you have a little boy is, you know, he's got to go out and he's got to take his lumps because that's the only way he's going to mature to be a man.
Yeah, we need
and that's hard to see.
You got to teach your kid to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life. I mean, I don't give a shit what you do. You're going to be a loser somewhere, sometime in the road, down the road. Football game last night. Quinn Ewers, kid got paid big cash from South Carroll, go to Ohio State to Texas. Guess what? He lost. No matter how good he is,
Big
he
game.
lost.
Yep.
He's a loser last night. He's a winner in life, but he was a loser last night. And all them kids, and every school's that way. You got kids that bust their ass to get here. That's just life, though. But you got to teach your kids that there's good and bad. When it doesn't matter what you do, at the end of the time, usually just one person stands up as the winner for that day.
One person puts up the trophy.
That's right. And you got to learn to accept that. And instead of letting it make you who you are, if you do lose, you should get better at what you do. But you got to teach your kids to lose. And we as a society have done away with that. From all sports to participation. You know, you go into a kid's room today and they got a track ribbon. Well, fuck, anybody that runs a track meet, we give them a ribbon for it.
Yeah.
You got 6th place out of 6 runners, give them a ribbon. Fuck that shit. Run faster.
But I really just don't think that I could go back to late night bottle changes and diaper changes and all that stuff.
No, because you're old. It's not an old man sport.
I'm not old yet, but
You are old to have a kid.
it would be a big lifestyle change.
How old are you?
36.
36 years old. That means
I'd
if
be
Jesse got
37.
knocked up, 37 years old, you would be my age with a senior in high school. Trust me. That ain't nothing you want to think about doing.
No, I know, but when your kids get older, but we were late getting to the game because we were, to some extent, we thought, you know, well, we got to have our ducks in a row to have a kid, and we got to be financially solvent. Is that the word?
Yeah, but you can never afford a child.
No. I'm, you know, supposed to have more kids than you can afford, I guess.
You're very responsible, and y'all are really good parents, and it's a shame for society y'all don't have more kids. Just for that reason alone.
But is one more kid, is that going to change society's makeup?
If it makes another good adult, yes. Yes, it does. But the good families don't have that many kids anymore.
No, we're busy.
Yeah, you got other things going on and responsibilities. Yeah. Plus, you want to give your kids something.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be one of these people that's got 8 kids and the kids don't ever get to do nothing.
Yeah.
You don't want to look at a Christmas tree and there's 8 presents under there and each kid gets one little thing because that's all you can afford.
3 wouldn't put us out that bad. It would put Jameson and Reese out because they'd have to share a bedroom just because that's the house makeup of Knox City. There's not a whole lot of houses out there that would be available for each kid to have their own bedroom, but kids shared a bedroom a long time ago. But
me and Tony did.
Yeah, I know, but part of me as a parent, you know, we all had our own bedroom. So I would feel inferior. I would feel like I'm giving my kids a lesser life than what I had by making them share a room, which in the grand scheme of things, like
you do a lot more with your kids than we did with y'all. And we did a lot with y'all.
No, I know.
Not near like what y'all do with y'all's kids. Y'all are setting the bar high for your kids. Now, see, that's one of the things that my fear is getting older is I can't provide for my grandkids if I needed to. And I shouldn't have to. But that is an actual worry of mine. And I want my grandkids to have more than my kids did. And I want my great-grandkids to have more than my grandkids did. Well, guess what? Eventually we're going to get where one of us is either going to hit it really big and be really, really, really wealthy where we take care of everybody, or somebody's not going to have what the other ones did. And
unfortunately.
That's just the way the world is.
For the first time ever, kids are saying that they will not be better off than their parents were. It's the first time in recorded American history.
But
that's happened.
Why is that though?
Well, it's because the housing market, nobody can afford to buy a house anymore. You can't, the old land's too expensive to buy. It's just, we're at a tipping point in America where a young person, Fox has talked about it a lot. His dad worked at McDonald's. He works at McDonald's.
The corporate side, though.
Corporate side of McDonald's. Both very, very high-paying jobs. His dad will out-earn him by about 10 times because of
Stock benefits.
stock benefits, and you could get a nice house a long time ago for pretty cheap. You could go buy land. You could get a land lease. So, the salaries might be the same, but the bang for his dad's buck is gonna be so much bigger than what anything that he could ever do. I mean, he showed me a picture of the house he grew up in. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's a quintessential late 90s suburban home. It's humongous. He can't afford that on his salary now. His dad bought it on his salary, but Ryan can't afford that. He can't afford to go buy a lake house in Tennessee and the boats and everything. It's not possible. So the American dream that was sold to you, and the American dream that a lot of people in their late 60s took advantage of, is not there for somebody my age.
The affordability is damn sure not what it used to be like.
I mean, me and Jesse, we're very comfortable. We couldn't go buy a lake house now in Possum Kingdom. It's not possible.
You could. You just wouldn't be able to do nothing else.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, so I think it's harder now for a young person, a young professional, just because the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to.
Well, you're 35 years old.
Yep.
You have your homes paid for.
Yep.
At 35, me and Mom's house was paid for.
And that's not realistic for a lot of people.
Not at
all.
all.
That's all because of where we live. If we were
Yes.
doing the Dallas thing or whatever, like, we're gonna have a 30-year mortgage just like everybody else.
Right. But out here we were fortunate.
Yes.
And everything we own is paid for. Everything we own is paid for. Everything it's everything we own. Everything we have is just about paid for. Other than I got one vehicle payment of your mom's. Everything else we have.
I have a vehicle payment.
Everything else we have is paid for. I don't worry about you. You've got a house you live in. It's paid for. Zachary, I think their house is paid for. They live in. Payne is going to end up having to live in a high rent district where his job takes him because he's going to be out of the Army in a year. And I worry about him being able to afford a house.
Austin, Boston, New York.
Yeah, wherever them places he lives. Now, hopefully he's going to get a job at a big company. He's going to get a big signing bonus, and that might help. But if he don't, he's going to be stuck 30 years, or he's going to be living in a freaking apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, he's paying $1,800 a month for where he's living now. I can't imagine if he moves to, well, let's say he works Round Rock or somewhere in the.
Yeah, where are you going to buy a house down there?
If he does, he's going to have to come up with $500,000. He's going to hope he gets a signing bonus. He's got a big bonus when he leaves the Army, anyways, but nothing like that.
Yeah,
but that's the kind of stuff that I worry about with this generation compared to the generations of my youth going on. When I was a kid growing up, my dad was a fireman, and I'm assuming he made $24,000 a year probably. My mom worked at Albertson's grocery store, and she made $6, $7 an hour. Mm-hmm. We didn't have a lot. Never was hungry. Never was cold. Never didn't have clothes. On them salaries today, you couldn't even live.
No.
I don't know how people that make less than $50,000 a year survive. I really don't.
Pinch and pennies.
And to afford their kid's cell phone bill. Yeah. There's bills today that we didn't have as a kid growing up. We didn't have an internet bill. We didn't have a cell phone bill. Those are normal. That's normal household deals now.
Yeah.
Everybody's got internet at their house.
Yeah.
TV, we had free TV growing up. Then we got cable, $20 a month probably. What's fucking $200 a month for DishNet now or whatever the fuck it is?
I don't know.
What is YouTube now? 70?
70 something.
$70 a month. That's $1,000 a year. Well, it's $840 a year. But I mean, things are so expensive and is upside down. And I don't know what the answer is, but I don't think having more kids is the answer to these problems.
So now I shouldn't have more kids.
No, I'm not talking about for you, but I'm talking about for the average person growing up. They have to rely on the government to pay for their shit.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there right now. What's the percentage of people on food stamps right now? 40%? 30% of the country? And probably some neighborhoods are probably at 90% of the people are on food stamps, and you got some neighborhoods that are zero.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's how percentages work.
But I'm saying there's some places that it's really a high deal. Well, those people just keep pumping out kids. You go to a low rent district elementary school anywhere in America right now, and the kids that are on food stamps or free lunches and stuff is just sky high.
Just 12%.
of the total U.S. population. That's 10% will on it. Okay,
12%.
12%. But you take a place like Knox City, I'll bet you we're probably at 30%.
I mean, I don't know.
Small towns with a lot of poverty, your number's going to be way up.
Here's the scary number. Oh, only 65. I thought more than that. We're living paycheck to paycheck.
Well, hell, I live paycheck to paycheck, but not really different type of paycheck to paycheck, but I do the same thing.
More than half of Americans earning over $100K a year live paycheck to paycheck.
They got too many damn bills.
More than half. But that goes back to what I said earlier. For the first time in recorded American history, kids today are saying that they will not have it better than their parents. That's why. $500,000, you live paycheck to paycheck.
$500,000.
Or $100,000 a year, you live paycheck to paycheck. That was the gold standard when I was a kid.
But
if you could ever find a job that got you over $100,000 a year, you ain't got a thing to worry about.
But how many of those people are living way outside of what they need to live?
You have to live way outside of what you're going to live to have a job that makes over $100,000 a year. Most likely, you have to live in a high rent district.
No, I'm not talking about just the rent district. You're vacationing. You're wearing high dollar shit. You should be able to make it on $100,000 a year, but
you can't.
No,
things
because
are way
you want to
too
live. Because you want to live and go do shit. Yes, you want to buy stuff nice. You want to do things. Nobody wants to just go to work, go home, eat ramen noodles, and put money in the bank. That's no life.
Will you quit doing that? The idea people.
But yes, you shouldn't be at a place where if you make $100,000 a year that you're having to struggle each week. And what's the percentage of people that's got $10,000 in the bank? Very few.
Mm-hmm. Most people can't even put $1,000 hand on $1,000. With a general idea of what lifestyle inflation is, which is buying fancy cars, everyday things that you need. There was a time in my life when an oil change was just like not even a priority. Car on the car, blah, 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 blah. Anyway.
Well, I'm around a lot of people that still don't have a lot of money. And I feel sorry for them. And I see the things that I take for granted that they can't. But I remember when I was a kid growing up and not having, and I'll never forget this. I was in junior high, and a kid in my class needed to have a gray T-shirt for gym class.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the other kids in class made a comment about it, and he goes, "Well, just go down to the store and get one." And he goes, "My parents don't have money just to go buy me a T-shirt."
Yeah,
you know, and I'll never forget that because I was in the same boat probably,
mm-hmm.
and. So the things we take for granted, like to go get pizza, like if we call in pizza, we don't want to eat at home, and y'all come over and like, let's just call in pizza. Well, if you order 2 pizzas in Knox City, it's going to be $50. Well, I don't think nothing of that. Well, there's people that do, and I feel sorry for those people.
I'm doing the carnivore diet now.
And that's expensive.
I felt like an asshole.
Buying just meat?
Spending all that money on just meat. Now, I think I bought for the month, but still, it's like,
yeah, and
here you go, dickhead. Like you're gonna go buy a bulk ribeye so that you can, eat differently than everybody else. So,
but yes, and you felt bad, didn't you?
I felt like a little bit of an asshole.
You ever gone into fucking Goodwill to buy something for Halloween?
No.
That's the most humbling thing I ever done, and I'll never forget that, and I'll never do that shit again. For Halloween, about 15 years ago,
right.
we went in Goodwill to buy some stuff, and I'm like, I'll just buy an old jacket and blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And then you look around, and there's people buying school clothes, and Grandma Sue died, and they need a dress for a funeral and shit, and they got $6 to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I feel like a horse's ass. And so it's the same type deal that you're talking about. You because there's people that struggle for just everyday needs.
Right.
And you know what's really bad? What I feel bad is most of those people work harder than I ever have worked in my entire
100%.
life. You know?
Yeah, I bought a tomahawk. To start off my diet, I was like, I'll have a nice tomahawk. Biggest fucking asshole in the world.
Hey, you feel bad.
Oh, that's how I'll start off my diet, is with a nice big slab of meat. And it's like, I grab a tomahawk, and then there's some poor guy behind me, he's eyeballing it and looking at prices and walks away. And I'm like, oh, you're a tool, Andy Shaver.
But you know what? That proves you're a good person because you understand that. It's the person that doesn't realize how blessed they are. Because we're very blessed.
Mm-hmm.
We get to work doing basically what we like to do most of the time. Good days and bad days. But it's still a better job than most people have. We make a good living. And we're very blessed as a family. But we understand that most of the time. A lot of people do not realize how well they have it, especially people that really have got a lot. A lot of those people look down on people. Like I've said before, the difference between trust funds and welfare, the people in trust fund looks down on welfare, but they're all living off somebody else's fucking money that somebody else made.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's, just because were born in the Lucky Sperm Club doesn't make you a good person.
Nope.
Or being successful because you started off on third base.
Yeah.
It don't. Life is not fair to a lot of people, but I was going to ask you something about your carnivore diet. We went to the grocery store before New Year's Eve, before people come over the other night, and Mom needed 2 pounds of hamburger meat.
Yeah.
I bought bulk ribeyes the other day for $8 a pound.
Yeah.
Boneless ribeye.
Right.
Hamburger meat was the same a pound in Knox City as a boneless ribeye.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Yep. Yeah, it's expensive. I say it's expensive. I mean, I think I've spent $300 on meat, and I think that'll get me through the month.
That's $10 a day.
10, yeah. I don't know if that's expensive or not.
No,
I've never looked at my meals per month. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever we normally shop, I never look. I mean, the grocery bill's always expensive.
So is that just for you?
Yeah.
That's just your meat.
Yes.
So it'd be $1,200 a month for the family. If y'all all were on the carnivore.
I don't think I'd want my kids to do it.
No, but I mean, if you did do that.
Right.
But you can't go to the grocery store and buy something. You can't.
But I also don't know how far this is going to go. I've never done this before. I've wanted to try it for a while. I think January will be an easy month for me because I'm still busy. I think if I were sitting around the house in February, I would want a snack. But now I'm so busy. I leave at 4, and there's times where I don't get back until 8 or 9.
Well, if your snack's beef jerky or something, you allowed to do that?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And I fried up a whole bunch of bacon, a whole bunch of sausage. I'm going to do hamburger meat and all that other stuff. So those are going to be my snacks. But if I were, and I don't snack much now because I'm so busy. But if I were sitting around the house, I think it would be harder for me. I think I would break the diet. So I think January is the month for me because I'm still busy enough out here to where I can do it and not cheat.
So your hamburger, or your bacon is just going to be just bacon, a snack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have it for breakfast too, but the one guy I saw said, if you get hungry, just eat bacon. If you have a craving. And it's been a day, I hadn't had a craving yet. And I'm not big, I'll definitely eat dessert, but I don't have a food addiction, I don't think.
So like
we're going to find out, here in another 2 weeks or something.
Are you allowed to have whiskey?
Nope.
So water and meat.
Water, black coffee, meat. They said you could have vodka or tequila if you just really wanted alcohol, but I have not drank much all hunting season. So beer, I don't drink a whole lot of beer to begin with. So
what about
I think it'll be easy, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Like tonight, we're having fajitas at the lodge, so you can eat the meat or chicken.
Yep.
Can you have chicken and beef or just beef?
Yeah, any meat, chicken, beef, fish,
just any kind
seafood,
of protein.
Any. You want it to be high fat because what your body's going to end up doing, it's going to switch from burning carbohydrates as fuel to burning fat as fuel. So you don't need sirloin. You need a fatty cut of
ribeye.
Meat. Yeah. So that's why I went and bought the bulk ribeye.
Well, let me tell you what, those Wagyus I bought the other night were damn good.
Bought Wagyu hamburger meat. So we're gonna see how that is.
How much was that?
Just 2 patties. It was like $12 or something like that. $10.
That Wagyu, I bought Wagyu at Market Street the other day, and I'm gonna buy some more of those.
That was another time I felt like an asshole. You're getting Wagyu hamburger meat.
Wagyu's good. I like the steaks.
So
the Wagyu steaks I really, really like.
Lots of eggs. You can have all the eggs you want, but also they say sparkling water fills you up, the carbonation, and I drink a lot of carbonated water to begin with. So
I'm gonna talk to my cardiologist because they're gonna put me on a diet next week when I go, and I'm gonna find out what exactly. That's a diet I could do.
I'll let you know how
the scrambled eggs and meat I could handle.
I like over greasy eggs. Me and Ron, just over easy. So I think it's going to be easy. I might be pulling my hair out in another 3 weeks.
What about cheese? Can you have cheese or no
all
dairy
the cheese
products?
you want.
That's not bad.
As long as it's not,
I saw some
like
cheese.
like real cheese, not
not processed cheese.
yeah, not Velveeta.
Not a can cheese in
Right,
a can.
yeah. Real cheese. So yeah, last night I had the tomahawk. I had a lot of salt on it, and I had a nice hunk of cheese. That's what I had. Yesterday I had a late breakfast. I had bacon and sausage, which I don't normally eat breakfast anyway. That's another thing. I don't eat much. Like I skip breakfast every day out here. First meal of the day is always lunch out here. I'll have to start bringing hamburger meat or something like that, or bacon. And then we usually have some sort of meat out here.
No, we always have a protein.
I mean, you know,
lunch.
Nights that it's, you know, chicken spaghetti or something, I'll have to make accommodations, but nothing else. I'll just fire up the Blackstone out there and throw some meat on the grill. It's not going to be hard. So I'm ready for it. A lot of people have seen, and I don't know what results I want to see. I weigh 175 pounds. Weighed the other day, 175.4. So I don't really want to lose a whole lot of weight. So I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to get out of this. But they say carbs, terrible for your body. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel in a month.
Well, there's no doubt back in the caveman days, nobody had carbs.
Well, no, but I mean, even in hunter gatherers, your early, you know, the farmers of the world, you couldn't grow crops in winter. You ate what was stored up. If you stored anything up, otherwise you
ate kale.
You ate what you killed, basically.
I think kale was their winter. Their winter vegetable.
You had seasonal fruits and vegetables back in the early caveman days. So, I mean, your body can do this. It's not hard. I mean, that's why I was talking to my wife's grandmother at Christmas about how Christmas was when she was a kid. So what was the best present you ever got growing up? A bicycle. It's a pinnacle. That's as good as it got. She said, and in our stockings every year was fresh fruit, because when I was a kid, we did not get fresh fruit year round. It was expensive or it wasn't available. So it was a treat at Christmas to get fresh fruit in your stockings because you just didn't get it. So this notion of you've got to have your fruit and vegetables for 12 months out of the year that's a new thing. It's not the way that we were designed. We were designed to go long stretches without food, and then hopefully you get a big payoff at the end if you kill a woolly mammoth or something, and that's just what you ate.
I think a lot of food was geographical though, because if you lived in the South, you had fruit year round.
But if you were chasing buffalo down in North Dakota, you probably weren't getting a fresh orange.
You wasn't getting oranges and apples. You get apples, but you wouldn't get oranges.
Not in the wintertime, you wouldn't.
No, well, they would store those. An apple stores well. But the Indians though weren't storing shit. I mean, they had apples when it was apple season, and you know, basically in January, February, and March, they weren't eating no fruit. They were eating buffalo.
A lot of
everything they killed.
A lot of put that meat with some water, please. We're gonna need to stretch that. So we'll see.
That's an interesting deal, but that's, you know,
eating the way we are, and that's the other thing, because somebody was like, "Well, it's not good for you," blah blah blah. It's like, well, I mean, can you tell me that the American standard diet's, you know, knocking it out of the park?
Well, when I was growing up in the early 70s, you had the food pyramid shit that they told you about.
Yeah,
you had to have so much of this, so much of that, so much of this. Well, today it's completely different.
Should be.
When I was a kid growing up, you know what we didn't have? We didn't have any fat fucks. There were very few to find. Very, very few to find. You know what people did? They smoked cigarettes. Mm-hmm. They drank Coke. They drank coffee. They had sugar in their coffee. They had real sugar in their Coca-Cola. There wasn't any corn syrup, I don't think much of. But you know, we didn't have snacks. Yeah. There wasn't a snack aisle at the stores like there are now. There wasn't that many chips to choose from. Mm-hmm. So we have changed our whole eating habits in my lifetime.
Have you seen what they did to, speaking of smoking cigarettes, The Wizard of Oz, it was torture for those actors.
Especially the little hobbits or whatever they were.
That lady, she was on Black
Judy Garland?
Yeah, she was on Black Coffee and cigarettes.
And she was 13 years old?
They wanted her to smoke 80 cigarettes a day.
The little girl?
To get down to whatever weight.
The disturbing truth about The Wizard of Oz.
There's
This
a dead
is
guy
true,
hanging up
this
in the
is
back.
Very disturbing. For those that have watched The Wizard of
Hold on,
Oz,
I don't
this
think
scene right
this
here
isn't
is
it.
a very
This isn't
popular
it.
one and looks somewhat normal until you look into the background.
This
In the
isn't
background
it.
of this
Why is it
photo,
not going
you can see this
backwards?
black speck right up here.
I listened to this
This isn't
podcast
it.
on this.
This is not the right video. But for some reason, nothing's
You know, those little dwarf guys were some perverts too. They groped her all the time.
really.
Oh yeah, big time. I listened to a podcast on early Hollywood stuff, and it talks about all this and Judy Garland, and it was really she lived a pretty sad life.
Yes. The lead actress. I think this might be it.
You know that The Wizard of Oz has an extremely dark secret that the filmmakers tried to hide for years.
She was 16.
The lead actress Judy Garland, who played Dorothy, was allegedly drugged and harassed during the filming of the movie. Some of the things that Judy had to endure during filming include adrenaline shots, which she was given in order to work constantly for 48 plus hours at a time. Her meals included chicken soup, coffee, and upwards of 80 cigarettes a day in order to suppress her appetite. The costume designers would allegedly make her corset as tight as possible in order to give her a slim figure. And on top of that, she was prescribed multiple narcotics by doctors as requested by the producers. In fact, the director of the movie would reportedly slap Judy across the face in between takes for laughing too much on set. Not to mention, she was repeatedly harassed by the actors who would play the Munchkins as well as studio executives themselves.
Oh, that's what you were talking
In addition,
about.
The fake snow used in the movie was actually
Asbestos.
which is a cancer-causing chemical that should never be inhaled. As a result, Judy passed away at the young age of 47 due to substance use disorder and various addictions that took over her life. You know that the Wizard of
Crazy.
And she died in England.
80 cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
How many's in a pack?
4 packs a day. It's 20 as a pack, I think.
Boy.
My dad, both of your grandpas, I bet every one of them smoked 3 to 4 packs a day.
How many? So there's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah. 3 cigarettes an hour. If they put it this way, if they slept 8 hours a day, they were smoking 5 cigarettes a day, an hour.
Phew.
My dad's told you before that he never fucking lit the first one.
Yeah, but she's a 16-year-old girl.
Smoking was common back then. Cigarettes were 25 cents a pack.
Crazy.
I mean, they used to give them away in Vegas with this stuff. Now they're what, $10 a pack?
Yeah, they're
And
ridiculous.
guess who's making all the money on cigarettes? The U.S. government.
Once again.
Yep. Just like everything else. Same with alcohol and everything else.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
Hours.
All right. Thanks. God bless y'all. Have a great week. We'll be back to our normal 3 podcast a week, probably within the next 10 to 12 days, getting all this lined up. We got 2 more really busy weeks of hunting season going. Anyways, holler at us if you need anything. 940-658-3172. We're booking up our dove hunts. I think all my weekends are just about booked up, but I've got a couple of spots for some corporate private hunts. If you want to bring 20 to 40 people out here and have your place to yourself during the week, holler at me. Thank you. God bless y'all. Bye.
Go check out our sponsors. Go check out Hemp Hill Farms. Use promo code BHP. Alpha Outdoor Specialties, Stanfield Outfitters, Mossberg, Double T British Kennels, Ducks Unlimited, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Podcast, Shin Gear, Dirty Duck Coffee, Dive Bomb Industries, Pacific Calls, BHP 25, 25% off, Boss Shot Shells, and MLR Graphics.